Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Guys, in this session, I am going to cover one of the very interesting functionality in Angular, that is sharing the data between the component. Now I am going to show you like how to share the data from child component to parent component here. I want to share some object from child component to parent component. In that case, I required one decorator. That decorator name is at the rate output decorator. That means by using this decorator, we can send the data from child to parent. That decorator is responsible to happen communication between these two components. Okay. To perform this process, we have to follow few steps. What are those? In a first step, if you can see here, we have to prepare a child component to emit the data. Okay, once you emit the data in your child component, whatever data you want to pass it from the child to parent, so that data you have to emit here. And once you emit that data, you have to bind that emitted property in your parent component template. Once you bind that property in your parent component template, then you have to, or you can use that property in your parent component class, and that property can be able to access your emitted data. Okay, so this is a basic process in a theoretical. Now let's understand this process through the practical things. Okay, let me open the IntelliJ here. Now, if you can see in a left panel, I have created two components. One is the child and another one is the parent. I want to happen the communication between it. Okay, now let's go step by step here. Let me read the first step here. Prepare the child component to emit the data. Okay, how we can prepare it? Let me open the ts file in a child component. So I have already opened it. Now first create the event emitter by using the at the rate output decorator. Okay, how we can create it? At the rate, use at the rate output decorator to create it. Okay, now let me assign some event emit, something will be there, emit as a name of that emitter. Let me give the data type event emitter is equal to new event emitter. Okay, so this is my event emitter I declare by using the at the rate output decorator. Now create one method to emit the data by using this emitter. Emit data. Okay, make it as a public, then our parent can access it. Event emitter dot emit method will be there. So we can press dot emit, and you can add your data, whatever data you want to pass it from the child, so that data you have to emit here. Okay, now I am going to add like child data is something like this. Let's pass some name, Sam, Sai, Vanshi. So these are the name I am going to pass it from the child to parent. Now let me create one button to call this emit method. So which is responsible to call this emit method and emit the data. Okay, in a child one. Okay, let me create one button tag. Sorry. Let's add one click event here and call your event emit method. Okay, what is the error here? Method expression. Sorry, emit data will be there. I'm going to, I have called this variable here. Okay, now this button is responsible to call your emit data method. Okay, from your child component. Now add the template of this child component in your parent component. How to add this? App child. So this is your decorator, we can say, or selector. We can say this is a selector. We can use this selector anywhere to select your component. Now I already ran this one. Let me open the browser. Let me search it like localhost. Yeah, oh, I didn't provide the name for that button. Sorry, I have to provide the name like a click. Okay, save it and go back. So you can see the click button is appear here. Okay, now when I click here, the data getting emitted. Okay, data getting emitted by using this event emit. But what is the next step here? Okay, what is the next step? Let's go back to PPT. That is bind the property. Okay, bind the property in your parent component template. So what property you have to bind, which property we have to bind here? So that event emit property we have to bind in your parent component. Okay, so which property? So this property is nothing but your variable of child component. So this property we have to bind in your parent. Okay, in your parent. So this is my parent component area, and I want to bind this property. Now how to bind this property here? Let me bind it by using this. Okay, emit is equal to, let's create one get data method. Okay, get data from child, and let's pass the event. Let's create the method in your parent ts file. And what I'll do, I'll create one variable to display this variable over this or over here, like we can display it here. Let me create something like data, and any type of data it can accept. Okay, and let's do that. This dot data is equal to, or I'll do that, I'll rename it to data. It's okay. What I do, I just assign that data, whatever data I send it from here. So that data I assigned it to this variable in a parent ts file. Now let me print this by using interpolation data. Okay, that's it. Now let's go back to your browser and let's click on it. Okay, so that still that data is not emitted here, if you can see here. Okay, let's see the what problem it is showing. Oh, sorry, I need to bind the property. I used another variable here. Okay, I used the method here. I need to use this event emit property here. Then it works. Let me save it and let me go back to browser. Now click it. See, this is the data which is coming from the child component. Okay, which is coming from the child component and displayed on a parent component. That means what we did here, we send the data from child component and we get the data in a parent component and display it. How we get it data? What we did in here, in a child component, we created one emitter which is used to emit the data, whatever data you want to send it from the child. So that data we have to emit by using the this emitter. I emitted the data by using this emit data method. To call this method, I created one button here. Okay, that name is click. Okay, then I render this component in my parent. Okay, and from that parent I bind this property. Okay, from that parent I bind this property, and with that property I call this parent class method. So that is get data from the child. So this event is nothing but your emitter, event emitter. So that event contains your emitted data. Okay, and once you click on that button, so the data will get emitted, and that once the data is emitted, then our method will call and get the data and display it on your console. So this is the way we can perform, or we can happen a communication between the child to parent here. Okay, so that's all guys. So thank you for watching this session. Thank you.